It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Our guest, Bill Brand, a council member from Redondo Beach. And we just had a national election. In March, we're going to have quite an election in Redondo Beach dealing with a natural gas plant. Why don't you talk to us about that election?
Well, my colleague and I co-authored an initiative with my colleague, and it calls for rezoning the site, phasing out power generation on that site.
That's a big deal.
By 2020.
That's a very big deal. I mean,
oh yeah.
We are looking for energy independence. We know that we have a nuclear plant in San Diego offline, and as a result, we've been relying on more natural gas. But you believe that this AES plant should be rezoned for no gas production and all commercial and recreational.
Yes, correct. It's true, natural gas-fired power plants are going to be an important part of our energy production going forward. However, there is an excess of power in this area, and we had the state officials come down and explain that complicated issue to us, and that there was enough power to retire this plant. So they also said they're trying to eliminate as many of these gas-fired power plants as possible in densely populated areas because of the pollution that comes out.
So there is a pollution problem.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is not clean burning, renewable energy.
Yeah, it's a big misconception that somehow natural gas,
is
there are no
natural.
pollutants coming out of it and it's not a problem. But in fact, there will be as much as 500 tons annually of toxic emissions from this particular plant, depending on how much they operate.
And according to Michael Bloomberg of New York, global warming is real. So as a result, it appears that if you subscribe to that view, that you'd want to take out these CO2 greenhouse gases.
Well, the future of energy production is not these large gas-fired power plants in densely populated area. And where you see California going in many of the more progressive areas is towards renewables. You can't go to renewables overnight or even in a decade, but you can certainly drive it towards that, where you have no emissions and you're not reliant on fossil fuel-based fuels. So you're seeing by 2020, California is going to be at 33% renewable. That's the mandate they've set.
What about the impact on
improve.
jobs if AES closes down?
Well, they close down this site, there's going to be a lot more jobs.
More
right
jobs?
Now, sure.
Because?
Sure. Well, because right now they only provide about 50 jobs, and their new plant is only going to have about 20 jobs.
They want a new plant.
Right. They want, yeah. They're applying very soon for a new power plant, and they'll only be having about 20 jobs at the new plant. However, if we phase out industrial uses on this site, we'll have other uses that have a lot more jobs. Plus, you'll reinvigorate the business climate in that area.
How large is the site?
It's 50 acres.
So when you want to get up to 40% commercial, I mean, that could be some serious office buildings or
big hotel,
big box hotels, whatever.
You could
it
have
may
a
be.
nice, a lot of different uses, office, as you mentioned, other commercial uses that would be, from a fiscal perspective, much, much better for the local economy and for jobs.
Do we expect this to be a battle royale? I mean, are they going to pull out all the stops, a lot of corporate spending on?
They're already paying residents to represent them. In fact, one of our planning commissioners is on their payroll. And
is that appropriate? I mean, is that permissible?
Oh, it's absolutely legal, but AES is going to be spending a lot of money. My guess is they'll spend somewhere of $500,000 campaigning against this initiative. They do not want this initiative to pass.
And if it passes, that is the ruling. I mean,
no, it's not final.
It's not.
Ultimately, the California Energy Commission has final say on what the zoning will be here.
So
however,
it's advisory?
their first. No, it's not advisory from a perspective of the local zoning.
I understand.
However, the state has authority on power plant sites over 50 megawatts. So they'll ultimately be ruling on this site, and by having the voters vote against it, that's going to be very, very powerful.
His name is Bill Brand. He is Redondo Beach Council member. I'm Brad Pomerance. We thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's local edition.